Welcome to Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston, PhD. Glenn has held his doctorate in psychology for more than 30 years and is also a former multi-million-dollar consultant to the big food industry and uses his experience to help you defeat your cravings. This show will help you to focus on dramatically reducing cravings and leave the diet mentality behind, so you can more easily and effortlessly achieve your health, fitness, and body composition goals. Please remember, no doctor-patient relationship is created via this show, and you are responsible for confirming any changes to your diet, health, or psychological routines with an appropriately licensed professional before implementing them. Now, before we get started, if you haven't yet downloaded the free smartphone app to access dozens of these recordings all in one place, as well as to avail yourself of a confidential community for support, motivation, and assistance, please visit the podcast link on defeatyourcravings.com as soon as possible. And now, here's your host, Dr. Glenn Livingston.
Hey, it's the very good Dr. Glenn Livingston with defeatyourcravings.com, and I am here with
Dr. Howie Jacobson of AskHowie.com.
And we're the PhD type of doctors, not the medical kind of doctors. This is something one of my clients exposed me to, and she said, there's no cleanup crew coming tomorrow. I once had a client who really struggled with you'll make up for it tomorrow squeal. Finally, she realized there was a cleanup crew coming to fix the mess she was making the next day. There's no cleanup crew coming tomorrow, she said. When I presented this idea to other clients, the overwhelming response was the realization that we simply must stop living for quote unquote someday. Someday I'm going to be better and it'll make up for all this. Someday I'll stop yelling at my kids and undo the harm I've been doing by being so short with them. Someday I'll set better boundaries with people and take better care of myself instead of letting them walk all over me. Everything will be better then. Someday I'll start going to the gym on a regular basis so there's no need today. Someday isn't a day on the calendar. There's no cleanup crew coming tomorrow. What do you think?
I like that. I realize I'm talking to a Florida man. So when I picture the cleanup crew, there's it's after, something involving alligators and bales of weed. And I've been reading too many Elmore Leonard novels, apparently.
Well, I mean, this is a day or two after Hurricane Milton. So cleanup is very relevant in Florida, but
yeah.
You don't want to let your inner pig run through your life as a hurricane because it can take a year to recover.
Yeah. What came up for me this week, my podcast, I released an episode with an author and coach named Jody Wellman, who wrote a book called You Only Die Once. And it's about how to continually remember that you are mortal so that you don't live for someday, so that you reach the end with no regrets.
Mm-hmm.
And, we recorded in video and I could see her office and she's got skulls everywhere, like these, very graphic reminders. And one of the things she wants everybody to do is calculate how many Mondays you have left. And, if I just put myself into a life expectancy chart, I have less than 900 left.
Interesting.
Now, I eat good and hopefully I avoid buses and I get a few more years. But the point is, it's not an infinite number.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely under 2000 at this point. Just the realization of that, I think it felt more motivating in terms of there are going to be consequences to the decisions I don't make.
Explain that last part.
Well, if I have a decision to make, let's say 2 years ago, whether I moved to Spain or not, staying is much easier because staying meant deferring the decision or not making the decision. And that feels safer. Let's say the decision was not leaving Sarasota 2 days before Hurricane Milton.
Mm-hmm.
It feels safer because it's safe now.
Mm-hmm.
But so instead of 2 days, it might be 2 years or 2 decades or not even about safety at all, but about the life I want to lead. And am I going to take a bold step and have this new adventure? So that recognizing that I don't have all day in terms of there'll come a day where I may have Mondays left, but I might not be able to ride a bike up a hill.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to wait until I can't do it, until the option is closed off to me entirely? That's what I mean by it's a motivation. It kind of shake me out of a stupor.
Yeah.
Of just like every day is just like the last day.
Mm-hmm. And you can only ever use the present day to be healthy.
Yep. You also talked about someday when. And you spoke about it in terms of the actions you take. I'm used to coaching people who speak about it in terms of the results they're going to get, right? Like, I'll be happy when I'm thin.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy when I don't have to take the diabetes meds,
Mm-hmm.
right? What that does, again, is it means, well, if it's someday then, someday when, then it's not now. And I think what people realize who follow your methodology is that you could be happy today by taking the actions that align with your goals, values, and priorities, that makes you happier than if Dr. Glenn could give them a magic pill and tomorrow they woke up thin, rich, and sexy.
Gotcha.
Like, I could win the marathon if I figured out how to cheat. If I got the chip, I got the race penny, and I jumped out of the bushes 10 seconds in front of the first place person and I ran across, maybe I could pull it off. But there's something about running the marathon itself that is worthwhile.
The adventure. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Howie.
You bet.
And that brings us to the end of today's broadcast of Defeat Your Cravings, hosted by Dr. Glenn Livingston. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the products and services Dr. Glenn offers to help you dramatically reduce your cravings and stop overeating in 90 days or less, please visit defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. That's defeatyourcravingscoaching.com. Thanks.